Hi guys, good morning. Here Pax Europeana. I'm driving today in Macedonia, and this is the highway, and that's the oil refinery, which is the most important oil refinery of the Southern Balkans. To my best knowledge, I don't think there is an oil refinery in Albania. I'm actually just a very old one, more or less defunct. There is none in Kosovo. They all dream about one, but here in Macedonia there is the oil refinery. And I think one is enough for the Southern Balkans. There's also one in Greece, there is one in Serbia. So this should be extended, and there should be the oil refinery for the whole region. It's much more regional. It exists already, it's in good condition, and that's just fine. Here I'm driving now north to Kumanovo. That's a very important city, and I will show it to you on my way back. I'm actually planning now to go to Serbia, and that's basically the reason for this leg of my trip. And I will show you the situation in southern Serbia, in the region of Pecina. And that's a very important region. That's basically where Serbia, southern Serbia, is bordering to Kosovo, to Macedonia and to Bulgaria. It's called Pecina region, and I will call for autonomy, like in South Tyrol for Pecina region. It's not the only region that should be autonomous. There's also Vojvodina in the north, and there is Sanjak in the border to Montenegro. But these three regions of Serbia should have a special autonomy status, like Southern Tyrol. And I think that's very important. Federal Serbia in the Federal European Union, and that is exactly what I propose and what I recommend. And powerful regions to counter the pro-Russian centralist government of Serbia. Because unfortunately, and especially now after the elections, there is again this pivot to the east, Serbia aligned with Russia, and that's a big problem. So Serbia must be reformed, transformed into a federal Serbia, into a Serbia which is pro-Western, and where the regions, especially where the Bosnians live in Sanjak and where the Albanians live in Pecina, and there live also many other minorities. It's not exactly that, it was never like this poor Serbian region of the dream of the nationalists. Yeah? That was never the reality. It was very much the region where I'm now going. I will not go up to Niš, but the whole territory is very much the region which Serbia has been rewarded or conquered after the crisis they basically lost, the Great Eastern Crisis of 1878. Then came the Berlin Congress, and they got this territory here in the south of the Balkans. Not Macedonia, not Kosovo, that stayed with the Ottoman Empire. They took it then by force in 1912. But the Serbs got this territory in the Balkan Wars 1912-1913, and then they have started this terrible genocide. In the first one, Albin Kurti is always referring, is the big genocide after the Berlin Congress for the area south of Niš, where I'm now going. And then the second one was obviously the situation in 1912, and so on and so on. It's a terrible history of this very poor region. It's called Pecina district. Pecina district. It's also famous as the Preševo Valley, and there's a lot of injustice going on against the Albanians and against the Bosnians and against the Hungarians as well, and up in the north, and against the Germans. And the idea that everybody in Serbia is of course a Serb citizen, there's no doubt, but that they're all living happily despite the fact that Serbia is a EU candidate country. That's actually very unfortunately not true, because there is a lot of discrimination against ethnic minorities in Serbia, and that must be changed. And that's why I'm going there. I want to make this an issue, and also I call to the freezing of the candidate status, as I have done in the Al Jazeera Balkans. But one of the reasons is obviously this discrimination of the minorities in Serbia. The Albanians were artificially taken out of the voter register now for the election. their addresses were invalidated, so they couldn't get into the voting register. There was a lot of manipulation for Albanians returning towards Serbia for the election, and so on and so on. So that's massive voter fraud and manipulation systematically to get Mr. Vučić party and his pro-Serbian pivot a kind of very good showing in the election. And that's why he got it. That's why I'm going. I want to make that a European-wide issue, and I will make this protest now as the continuation of my campaign on the 24th of March when I went to Belgrade. I wanted to combine that, but that was too much traveling, so I combine it here with the Southern Tour, because in many ways in that area here the Southern Balkans belong together. Obviously I'm not advocating any kind of separatism, and I'm not advocating any kind of territorial exchange. Yeah? I will also make videos about that one, because I'm absolutely against separatism and territorial exchange, land swaps and all these things. I'm for federalism, that means for autonomy, regional autonomy, South Tyrol style for this district, and also for Sanjak and also for Vojvodina. Vojvodina has certain rights in Serbia, and we have to make sure that they all have similar, or even about the rights the South Tyrol has, and not to call it with ethnic terms. I'm against Albanian region, a Bosnian region. I'm for geographical terms, and I'm for what we have in Austria and what we have, for example, in South Tyrol. This is the way of regions. It's the philosophy, it's very simple to explain. Power to the regions. That's what I call for. And by the way, Macedonia has a very good system of road pricing. I'm very happy for road pricing. Motorways must be payable. Hello Kosovo, make your own motorways, and by the way also Ukraine, make your motorway payable. By the way, solidarity with Ukraine. I will go, once the war is won, I will go there. Some of the guys say I should also go to fight. I'm not a fighter, I'm too old, and even when I was 20 I would have just been crashed by a Serb or a Russian tank, and I'm not very good in that one, but I hope my videos will make a contribution, my tweets, for peace and for victory of Ukraine. Now I have to pay. More to come from Pax Europiana on the way to Serbia, here from Macedonia. Thanks a lot for listening. Bye.